Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey.
Hello.
And the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
Yo.
And I am your host, Scribe, the Lord of Punishment. And before we even begin, number 13, thank you so much. Scribe with his Johnny Cash title, named for a great colonizer. I didn't know Johnny Cash was named for a colonizer, but then I don't know Johnny Cash's personal biography all that well. Either way, how are you guys tonight?
I'm good. I'm still trying to get off the high. I just saw Infinity War, and it was awesome. So
I'm so jealous that you just got to see it. I want to see it again.
All right. Well, we gotta set a day where we can start talking about that a bit, where it's safe. Next week, next Friday, something. I don't know.
I think by then.
Okay.
We'll
get it safe. We'll be safe and say next Friday. So, guys, if you haven't seen Infinity War yet, you have until next Friday, unless you never want to listen to the show again.
Right.
Let's see. And hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good day, a good evening. I hope your week was well, and I hope your weekend looks rosy, as it were. Thank you, Snubberth, again. All white people are colonizers. That's the joke, Scribe. Oh.
Yeah.
Shit.
I
forgot. I was steeped in other matters when I made a video today, so maybe I got confused.
Yeah, well, it's no excuse, but we forgive you.
I know. It's a reason. Might not be an excuse, but it is a reason.
That's right.
So let's see. Before we get into the wonderful world of catastrophic news that's happened in the last couple hours, do we have anything to plug, mention, or cover?
There will be a game stream immediately following the. We say immediately, but we don't.
Immediately, like the instant we end this, they will be
very
streamed.
soon after this. Over on 2 Cents Plus, we'll be playing 7 Days. Right? Is that what we're playing?
Yes. Although I do kind of want to play Dying Light, but I think we'll do 7 Days today, and we will gauge to see what they feel about Dying Light.
Cool.
I came up with a name for your 7 Days streams.
Oh boy.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Y'all ready for this? No. How about Weak Sauce?
Weak sauce?
WEEK sauce. Weak. Like it's a 7 days.
Yeah, I
have weak.
I got it immediately. That's how long I've been hanging out with Scribe. I got that immediately. I knew the spelling.
I don't claim it's any good. It's just what I came up with as I was walking to work today. I was kind of like, would be a good name for 7 days to die with those? Oh yeah, because they're always like breaking their legs and crashing their bikes. Yeah.
Oh, and for the 4 of you who actually watch movies you should have watched, we will not be doing that this week.
For the 4 of you that actually.
Yeah, I have family. It's just the lineup of things. So my mother came to visit, sort of short notice, unannounced, or relatively unannounced, because other family members of mine had changed their schedule to visit her. And so rather than try to work around their schedules, she just decided to come visit me with the time that she had before that happened. Well, those relatives, after visiting with my mother, will then be stopping over in town to see my sister and I next Sunday. So I have family stuff taking me away from doing any streaming stuff next Sunday. But this Sunday, as was already planned, but I had to be rescheduled by an hour or two, which kind of throws the whole movie thing off, I have plans with my sister. So my family troubles end up precluding me from doing a movie stream for the next 2 weeks, as far as I know, unless something changes. So I apologize. I don't apologize for my family. I just apologize for any inconvenience to those of you that were looking forward to A Knight's Tale this weekend or something similar, depending on what we decide to do. So
it's okay.
All that being said,
they can go back and read.
Yeah, we have lots and lots of. I gotta link the streams that you have on your channel over to my playlist. I keep forgetting to do that.
Yeah, I need to do yours too. I have some of them, but not all.
Yeah, I need to make a note of that and be able to do it without like tweeting every single one that I do.
Yeah.
Monkey Dick Jim Jones movies. Hit that like button if you have not already, and many, 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 many of you have not. And share our stuff. I have a new video out today. Satsu, you put something out today, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. So Satsu's got something new. Monkey's being lazy. He hasn't put anything out today, except for video game streams.
I slept.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Monkey might have put out while he was sleeping to Lady Monkey. I don't know.
If only she was working.
If only. Oh, okay. Well, so Hawaii is falling apart.
What happened to Hawaii?
Well, on top of a volcano, Hawaii's Kilauea volcano, which hasn't been active since volcano since 1983, actually truly erupted today, spewing lava into a residential area. And then just a couple of hours ago, a 6.9 earthquake hit Hawaii.
Ouch.
And here are the updates as they have come in from CNN. These are like live updates. I'll just read the bullet points, so to speak. Thousands without power after 6.9 quake. More than 14,000 utility customers lost power on Hawaii's Big Island after the 6.9 earthquake, said Ria Limoku, spokeswoman for the Hawaii Electric Light. Quote, "It's kind of like being on some kind of carnival ride, if you will. We are being shaken all the time," Limoku said. Also, extremely high levels of sulfur dioxide have been detected. Destructive molten flows weren't the only concern. The Hawaii County Fire Department reported, quote, "Extremely high levels of dangerous sulfur dioxide gas were detected in evacuation areas after the volcanic eruption." And there's pictures of like white smoke coming out of seams in the concrete of roads and shit. It's kind of creepy looking. Volcanic eruptions can release potentially dangerous sulfur dioxide, and exposure to high levels of it could be life-threatening, according to the Federal Agency for Toxic Substances. Breathing large amounts of sulfur dioxide could result in burning of the nose and throat and breathing difficulties. The 6.9 quake is the strongest to hit Hawaii since 1975. Back in 75, a 7.1 quake hit in almost the exact same area as the one that occurred today. Sea level fluctuations possible after 6.9 quake, but no tsunami is expected. That's a thin silver lining. And yeah, it was first reported, the 6.9 quake was reported about an hour and a half ago, hour 45 minutes. So yeah, things are still ongoing. I'll keep that window open in case there's any more updates on anything else that might happen over there. I have friends and the family of coworkers that are in Hawaii. So I'm kind of keeping tabs on things. Not the Big Island, but nearby, and who knows what else is going on.
Yeesh.
Yeah. So I will keep that going and see if anything else comes up. In other news, so have you guys been following at all the Rudy Giuliani Trump drama of the last 24, 48 hours?
I've been hearing about it, but not actually paying attention to it.
Okay, so the article here might give more of a breakdown, but the short version is Rudy Giuliani has come on to be on Trump's legal team. He's like as an advisor or something. He did an interview yesterday where he said that Trump reimbursed Michael Cohen the $130,000 that was used to pay off Stormy Daniels.
Yeah.
Which contradicts a lot of the things that Trump has said about that payment and that Cohen said about that payment, and also opens up questions, I don't know how legitimate, about the legality of the whole affair, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, he said a lot of shit. He been running his mouth.
But then today, here's the headline. Trump walks back Giuliani. Quote, "He'll get his facts straight," unquote. President Donald Trump publicly undermined his attorney, Rudy Giuliani, on Friday, saying the former New York City mayor had only a loose grasp of the Stormy Daniels business when he spoke about it earlier this week. A clarifying statement from Giuliani, issued 4 hours later, did little to illuminate the matter. Instead, the series of pronouncements only lent further confusion to an issue that has deeply undercut the administration's credibility and has fueled the impression of a West Wing in crisis. Quote, he'll get his facts straight, Trump stipulated of his longtime friend on Friday morning, before adding, quote, there's been a lot of misinformation. I say, you know what? Learn before you speak. It's a lot easier, unquote. Learn before you speak. Calling Giuliani a great guy, Trump nonetheless insisted his attorney wasn't fully up to speed when he told an interviewer that Trump had reimbursed another lawyer for hush money paid to Daniels, an adult film actress who claimed she had sex with Trump in 2006. Trump has denied the encounter. The part that really sort of has set the press hair on fire a little bit is when they confronted Sarah Sanders, the press liaison or whatever.
Yeah.
And she told them that the first time that she'd ever learned about the reimbursement was from Giuliani's interview. And so they're like, so have you been lying to us? And she's like, nope, I only know what I know. And it's just drama.
Yeah, when I was listening to the stuff that he was saying, he didn't sound too certain about anything. It just sounded like he was based on my knowledge and from what I know, and he was like, maybe this, maybe that. It's. I was under the impression that this was going on. So I'm like, he's saying a lot of shit, but it don't sound like he's sure about much of it.
Well, Rudy Giuliani would never be guilty of grandstanding. Right.
I don't understand why you would hire Giuliani as a lawyer. And I don't mean this mean. He may be a great litigator. I have no fucking clue. But he does love the limelight. And this is something your lawyer shouldn't be talking publicly about anyway.
Well, he was the I believe the district attorney of New York, sure. And of course, or he was actually I believe he was a district attorney general of New York, federal wise, before he became mayor or something to that effect. I could be getting my facts mixed up, but anyway, he has a long legal history fighting the mafia and everything else, and has, at least at the time, had a relatively successful record in that realm before he became mayor. Why he's why he's part of this now, I don't know.
You don't want a lawyer who's the first thing they're going to do is run out and talk about all this stuff. Your lawyer should be the one telling you to shut the fuck up.
Right.
And yeah, Giuliani, he's just not good for that. He's not.
And why, even if that is what Giuliani said is accurate, why would you say that? Why would you reveal that in a public space before there's like a reason to or anything? It just, I don't know. Let's see. Keeping an eye on the volcano. Nothing new yet. A couple other stories that caught my attention before we move on to MSS News. And a lot of these things got set aside because of the earthquake. The DHS ends protections for nearly 90,000 Central Americans. Nearly 90,000 Hondurans who have lived in the U.S. at least 2 decades could be forced to leave the country after the Trump administration decided Friday to end protections for the immigrants that go back to the 1990s. The move brings the total number of immigrants for whom the administration has decided to end temporary protected status in the last year to more than 425,000, many who have lived in the U.S. legally for decades, according to numbers from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. The Homeland Security Department's announcement Friday ends the temporary protected status designation for Honduras that was put in place after Hurricane Mitch struck in 1998. There are about 86,000 current recipients, according to USCIS's count at the end of October, and all of them have lived in the U.S. continuously since at least 1999. They will have 18 months to either leave the country or make arrangements to stay if they can qualify for visas some other way. Temporary protected status must be extended for countries every couple of years, and the deadline to make a decision on Honduras was approaching this weekend. The Trump administration has opted to end almost all of the temporary protected status designations on the books this year, including those for nearly 60,000 immigrants from Haiti, more than 250,000 immigrants from El Salvador, about 5,000 from Nicaragua, and nearly 15,000 from Nepal. The Central American countries have had their temporary protected status extended by previous administrations continuously since the 1990s and early 2000s.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not quite sure how to feel about that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. See, I don't know a lot about this stuff. So, like, when they came over, their status was protected for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what were they?
Yeah, it was an emergency kind of thing. Like the Honduras ones, it was because of a hurricane.
Right. So my issue is, I mean, I guess there are things that go into this, like what is the status of the place that they left from, and are they able to return, or because I don't really see the point in like an infinite protected status for something that has happened, is done, and has been taken care of. That's just like they don't let you stay in a homeless shelter forever. Like you can't live there forever. You got to eventually figure something out. So I don't know. I mean, I guess for people who have been here that long, although people could argue they shouldn't have been here that long to begin with, but I guess that really depends on what the status is of where they came from. I don't know. See, like I try not to speak too much or too confidently about it because I'm like, I don't really know. But it just seems like a long time to be.
Yeah, I mean, if a hurricane that happened in 1998 is the reason that they were given temporary protected status here, where like the place they were at was basically destroyed or something, that seems like an awfully long time for the aftermath of a hurricane to still be a legitimate excuse to be given temporary status. Yeah,
the opportune word being temporary, like it's in the name. That's so weird. And apparently there is a birthday.
Oh, whose birthday is it?
Viror of Ashmedai.
Oh, he just wants me to have to say his name. Viror.
Viror. Viror.
Yeah, that's his name. Nailed it.
Viror. Are you out there? Oh, wait. He says my son Tristan's birthday.
Oh,
okay. So it's not your birthday.
Oh, Tristan's much easier to pronounce.
It's much easier. How old is Tristan today? I need to know how creepy to make my opening.
72.
72.
Time to get
that would be funny. That'd be funny if it was like 72 or something. It's like, I'm an old man.
Tristan, are you barely alive?
Let's see.
This one's for you.
He's 1.
Oh,
little baby. Okay, well, we'll make it gentle. We can make it gentle and legit.
Tristan, are you out there? Are you listening, bud? This one's for you. Ready? And a 1, and a 2, and a
happy birthday to you.
You're not gonna remember this.
Happy birthday to you.
And if you do, I'm sorry.
Happy birthday, dear Tristan.
There's worse things than they're singing, I promise.
Happy birthday to you.
Well, probably not.
Happy birthday, Tristan.
Happy birthday, Tristan. Welcome to the world.
I'll sing relatively legit to small children. I won't make like crazy yelling noises because I don't know if they're listening. I don't want to scare a child. So
I haven't been up that long, and my voice was actually cracking there. That wasn't on purpose.
Oh, so I thought you just hit puberty finally.
I exaggerated it as it happened to hide my shame.
Well, lastly, a story that caught my attention because I am kind of a true crime buff, and this just is interesting to me. I don't know if it's interesting to anybody else, but I don't care because it's my show. Court vacates Michael Skakel's murder conviction and orders a new trial. Now, Michael Skakel might not be a well-known name to you, but the family he's related to is, and the case that he's involved with was kind of famous. The Connecticut Supreme Court has vacated Michael Skakel's conviction in a decades-old murder case and ordered a new trial. Skakel, the 57-year-old nephew of Robert and Ethel Kennedy, served about half of a 20-year sentence in the 1975 killing of teenager Martha Moxley. He's been out of prison since 2013, when the courts first ordered a new trial. The court ruled Friday that Skakel's attorney, Michael Thurman...
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
The court ruled Friday that Skakel's attorney, Michael Sherman, quote, rendered ineffective assistance by failing to identify an alibi witness for his client, and that as a result, Skakel was deprived of a fair trial. Prosecutors can choose to retry Skakel according to the decision, but the defense would now have the benefit of that alibi testimony. The prosecutor's office was not immediately available for comment. The other reason that this story is kind of famous, and they might mention it here somewhere, is that a book was written about it by Mark Furman. If you know who Mark Furman is, Mark Furman was a key figure in the O.J. Simpson trial because he used the N-word in talking about criminal suspects, and therefore Johnny Cochran and such wove a tale of how the racist cops were just trying to get O.J. because he's black, etc. Now, thank you, Hakatus Maximus. I support the Scribbles Moonbase, and Scribbles wants you to support it too. Hashtag Scribbles Moonbase.
I don't know about Moonbase, but I want Moonpoon.
Yeah, well, yeah, I want at this point I want Moonpoon too. There's so much lore I have built up around Crater Valley and Space Marshal Dirk McGuffin, and like the time portal that brought a caveman back to help Dirk McGuffin fight dinosaurs, and Sir Adamantine's House of Celestial Sins, and all this stuff. It might as well be a movie.
There you go.
But anyway, yeah. So I just find that interesting because the story behind Martha Moxley's murder and the deference that the Kennedy family was shown at the time of the murder to not interview the family members that were known to have been with her or around her before the murder, and how evidence was sort of not collected by the cops and time was given to cover up things, et cetera, et cetera. It's a very weird case, very horrible case. What happened to that girl, I won't talk about the details here, but it was savage, to put it mildly. And yeah, so anyway, I found it interesting. If you didn't, I don't care.
Don't worry, there's a new story coming now.
That's true. Let's see, anything new on the volcano? Okay, we got an update. Earthquake triggers landslides along Hawaii's coast.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah, like I said, Hawaii's falling apart, or at least the Big Island. The major earthquake triggered 4 to 5 landslides along the Hamakua coast on the Big Island, a Hawaii County Civil Defense Agency official said. Quote, that's part of being on an active volcano, unfortunately. He said some buildings had minor damage and movement was detected in coastal waters as a result of the quakes. So, again, I'll keep an eye on it.
Do you think there's a couple in Hawaii right now where there's a man going, bitch, I told you I didn't want to come to Hawaii. I wanted to go somewhere else for our vacation.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to cause people to break up, y'all. Ranting Monkey just wants moon midgets. I like all midgets.
The lower gravity would probably have people growing taller, I think, rather than short.
Well, I actually watched some about this. It doesn't make people any taller. It just what happens is, since there's no gravity, you stretch out a little bit, but you'd still be whatever height you were going to be.
Oh, yeah, and you have to do more exercise because your bone density would not be as great because, or your muscle, yeah, that stuff. Okay, so you'd have really weak regular people on the moon.
Yeah.
Do you guys know of anything else?
Oh shit, Shio.
What?
What's the difference between me and cancer? My dad didn't beat cancer. That is horrible on so many levels.
Oh, I like it though.
Wait, but is it? Hold on.
I like it. Read it again, Satsu.
What is the difference between me and cancer? My dad didn't beat cancer.
I don't know. I don't know if that's fucked up.
Well, his dad beat him and died of cancer. So
yeah,
right. So I'm like, technically, you win.
Technically, you win. Yay, cancer.
The upside of cancer, brought to you by Shiokarab.
Let's see. Carrick says, Scribe, like parts of volcanoes become unstable the larger they become. There's a pretty big chunk of Kilauea that started sliding during a major earthquake some time ago. Maybe that was the 75 one. If that entire piece were to crash into the ocean, major tsunamis could hit the west coast. Okay, well, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Let's wait until we know if anything more horrible is going to happen to Hawaii or otherwise.
I don't remember if you mentioned that. Is there a death toll at all?
No. So far, at least they haven't reported any. But it just hit within the last hour or two. So if there are any casualties or injuries, they probably haven't reported yet. So far as I know about the initial eruption earlier today, no casualties were reported. Last I knew. If that's changed, guys, I apologize. But last I knew from a story I heard this morning, no one had been hurt or reported of being hurt. Lots of damage, lots of buildings hurt. People have been evacuated from neighborhoods and things. But
has ISIS taken credit yet?
No, but Vulcan probably did. Let's see. Says, say hi to Bloodwing. Hi, Bloodwing. Hi, old man. Thank you, Gregory Hurst. Breaking: Hawaii now being attacked by dragons with AIDS. Yeah, at this rate, that wouldn't be surprising.
Oh my God, the wretched Drades! No.
Drades! Well, aside from dragons with AIDS, do we have any other stories, or should I move on to MSS Schnuzz?
I saw a story. It was actually I was reading when I was waiting for you to send me the link you had already sent me.
Yes.
Apparently, John Kerry is working behind the scenes very, very hard to keep the Iran deal in place. This was just released by the New York Times. John Kerry would not be interviewed for the story, but he's been all over the UN and talking to a lot of people. So he's trying to keep his signature deal in place, but he really has no power. So we'll see what happens. I would read the story, but that's basically it. He's running around trying to save this deal because it's his legacy.
Yeah, more or less. Let's see. RJ Bansma asks, on my birthday, I'll be holding a Q&A live stream with questions submitted with the hashtag RJLightning68Q&A. Would it be all right if you three submitted some questions using that hashtag on Twitter? Okay.
Let me.
I'm not sure what I'd ask.
Is it just us three, or can the audience all ask too?
Too late. They already know about it, so they will.
Set yourself.
I can't stop them now.
And that's a lot to write down. So hang on a second. God damn it! It scrolled up.
Well, we have a very active chat. Are you complaining?
No. But I'm learning to keep notes, and I'm not very good at it.
Oh, okay. Well, at least you're learning.
Light. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay. I will move on to MSS News if nothing else is occurring. So, guys, if you have...
is 68 your age?
Or year of birth, maybe?
Okay.
Some people put their year of birth.
I'm just curious because that's going to define my questions. If you're like 14, there's going to be different questions than if you're 68. That's all. Anyway, go ahead.
Just saying. Guys, if you have news stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSSNews. Can't promise we'll get to them all, but we'll look at as many as we have time for. And one I saw earlier just before the stream started, the headline caught my eye. So I thought I'd start out with that, and this one comes from Sylvanus. Oh boy, if it is what I think it is. All right. Colorado man, cousin to Florida man, Colorado man built sex chamber for intercourse with his pet husky and pressured his ex-girlfriend to join in.
What?
I don't want to live in this world anymore.
A Colorado man and his ex-girlfriend were arrested on several animal cruelty charges in March after building a sex chamber in their backyard to have intercourse with their pet dog, police said. Frederick Blue, that's his middle name, Blue, Manzanares, or Manzanares, okay, 50, and Jeanette Eileen Solano, 48, were arrested on warrants of 4 counts of animal cruelty, including mistreatment and neglect, after the pair allegedly had sex with their Siberian Husky mix named Bubba. Let's see. Solano told police she was being pressured into having sex with Bubba in a backyard trailer Manzanares allegedly turned into a sex chamber. The trailer allegedly featured a special bench with red padding that made it easier for Solano to have sex with the dog. The ex-girlfriend also told investigators that just after adopting Bubba about a year earlier, she discovered videos of women having sex with dogs and horses on their shared laptop. Okay, I'm going to skip the rest of that. I think you know where the rest of that's going. That's pretty gross. That's pretty gross.
That's fucking ridiculous.
I blame Sylvanas.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah,
they were both charged. Is she just trying to get out of it by saying he made her do it? Because here's the thing, lady. Being pressured is not the same as, being forced.
Yeah, you know what? She made a choice, right, Satsu?
That's right. Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
She made a choice. You fucked a dog along with him. You go to jail. Fuck you. I don't even like dogs, and I feel bad for that dog right now.
Yeah. This one comes from New Fate 26. If it'll open up. Come on, browser. You can do it.
I just love that she can do that, though. Yeah, he pressured me into it. He should do that. She made me fuck that dog. I'm sorry. Women, you can't pull the I was pressured into it. Pressure is not force. Fuck you. If you did it, it's yours.
Anybody who wants to clip Monkey saying he made me fuck that dog and turn it into your ringtone, by all means.
You're an asshole. You are an asshole.
Hey, you made a choice, Monkey.
And so did you. God damn it.
I know. Okay. Berkeley Task Force blames conservatives for leftist violence. Okay. A University of California Berkeley task force is blaming conservative students for destructive protests on campus, saying that hosting conservative speakers was, quote, likely to incite a violent reason, unquote.
Can I get the fuck out of here with that bullshit?
Can I have that article, please?
You certainly may.
Get the fuck.
Yes, I found it quite interesting. Like, oh, is it their fault that other people made a choice to be violent? We can do this all day.
God.
That's like saying a woman who gets beat by her man is her fault because she hooked up with him. It was likely to cause violence. Fuck you.
Yeah, you should have made that casserole right.
That's
you
right.
knew
bitch.
that he was going to beat your ass if you didn't.
You incited.
Isn't that called blaming the victim? Am I just sort of?
I think it might be.
Oh,
yeah, but they don't consider they're Nazis, so they're not victims no matter what you do to them.
Let's see. The report was filed on April 10th by a commission on free speech that Chancellor Carol Christ created last October to, quote, analyze events featuring external speakers, unquote, on campus in the wake of a series of disruptive protests. Disruptive seems a little underscored, against planned appearances by speakers such as Ben Shapiro, Milo Yiannopoulos, and Ann Coulter. Quote, although those speakers had every right to speak and were entitled to protection, they did not need to be on campus to exercise the right of free speech.
Really? But all the other protesters that are protesting things you want to see, they did have to do it on campus. You know, it's encouraged for them, but
that's amazing. This coming from Berkeley. Now, you know, Berkeley has a history and in some cases a respectable history of promoting free speech and freedom of thought. But apparently,
time out. Gregory Hurst, fuck you. You have a super chat, by the way.
Gregory Hurst, thank you. He made me fuck that dog. The ranting monkey story.
You asshole. You asshole. I blame Scribe for that.
Yeah, I know. It's Sylvanas' fault, then it's my fault. But you made a choice, Monkey. Let's see. I'll leave the rest of the story unsaid, so Monkey has some material to rant at.
Jesus, this is so fucking stupid. This is the epitome of what they always bitch about. What were they wearing? No, fuck you.
I have a update. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm out. I need to rant just for a minute here.
Yes.
We're talking about Milo, the three they named, Milo, Ben, and Ann Coulter. None of which are like Richard Spencer type of people. So even though I think Richard Spencer should have the right to speak, I at least understand some of the anger at that white nationalist piece of shit. The other ones are just conservative. It's not like they're out there preaching anything horrible other than, I don't know, personal responsibility. Fuck. Oh God, I fucking hate people. And MSS News is not helping me with that tonight. We got dog fucking and blaming the victim. What's next?
Well, an update on the volcano. A fifth,
Okay.
I didn't even know there was 4. A 5th volcanic vent has opened in Leilani Estates.
Holy shit.
A 5th volcanic vent has opened in Leilani Estates, according to County of Hawaii Civil Defense Administrator Talmadge Magno. Activity continues, he said. Nothing is slowing down. All 5 fissures are active, steaming and bubbling, but there is not significant lava flow yet, Magno said. Okay, so yeah, again, I'll keep an eye on that as we go, guys. What else do we have?
That's fucked up, Jamil. 49 states incoming. It'll still be a 50th state. You just can't live there.
Looking for something at least funny-ish, maybe, or entertaining. There's a lot of sad stuff. A lot of people like dying or things. Yeah, I know, and I'm not trying to dismiss your guys' efforts on giving us stories, but occasionally I don't want to, completely depress myself. This one comes from Devil Fruit Zero because the pictures are of scantily clad women. And I am a red-blooded heterosexual male. Extreme cutout jeans selling for $168. And if you guys don't know what an extreme cutout jean looks like, it's basically the waistband of jeans and then literally strips of the cloth barely holding together something that looks like a leg around the person.
Yeah, it's mostly the seams.
Another super expensive thing for dumbass rich people to waste their money on.
Yeah. A Los Angeles-based company is marketing extreme cutout jeans on its website. The pants made by Karmar Denim are priced at $168 and are described as a high-rise pant with large statement cutouts. Statement cutouts, I like that, on the front and back. Statement like, look at my ass.
Yes.
The company brands itself as a premium denim catered to the free-spirited generation of today.
Wait, did he call today's generation free-spirited? He
Well,
needs to be tested for drugs.
Yeah. Also, if you're paying $168 for that, I have a tip for you. You can buy your own for $20 and use scissors.
Yeah, for $25 you can buy jeans and scissors and make your own.
Yes.
I feel like the statement might actually be, I have way too much money and make poor financial decisions.
That's exactly what it is.
Could be.
That is, my mom and dad have money. That's what that is.
What's hilarious though for me is it was probably like a corporate joke. Like I'm thinking there's a bunch of like big wigs in an office. Like, do you think we could get away with selling people like 10% of pants for like full price? And they're like, nah, nobody's stupid enough to do that. And they're like, want to make a bet? And then this shit came to be.
I think Phil DeFranco did a story on this the other day, and I think he hit it right. I don't think these jeans are ever meant to be sold. I think this is an excellent marketing idea for their company. Because maybe nobody will buy these fucking jeans, but there's a whole lot of people talking about them now.
Let's do a couple from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. I heard about this one yesterday. I didn't get to it, but we'll get to it now. Mystery pooper at New Jersey High School's track turned out to be the superintendent.
Oh my God.
Wow.
The Kenilworth school superintendent, charged Monday with defecating in public, was caught in the act at the Holmdel High School football field and track after surveillance was set up due to human feces being found on a daily basis, police said. Thomas Tramaglini, okay, 42, lives about 3 miles from Holmdel High School in neighboring Aberdeen. He was running at the track on athletic fields at 5:50 a.m. before he was arrested. Track coaches and staff at Holmdel High School told the district's resource officer that they found human feces on or near the football field and track daily. School employees began monitoring the area, and on Monday, police arrested Tramaglini, at 5:50 a.m. which is where he was running, I guess. He's also charged with lewdness and littering. He is due in municipal court Monday to answer the charges.
Littering?
I guess that's
okay. I'm curious here because he got lewdness.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that meant he was actually taking a dump there.
Well, exposing his ass to the world and everything. Yeah.
You think
so? Where does the littering come in?
Well, I mean, if I leave dog poop around, that's probably counted as littering. You know, if I'm walking my dog and I don't pick it up. What?
I said that's not coming from you, though. That's coming from the dog.
Well, the end result's the same. I'm leaving something.
I feel like this is a victimless crime, and they should leave him alone. Nobody saw him do it, so the lewdness can go to hell.
He was caught in the act.
Because they started watching.
Yeah.
But until then, I mean, it's just some dude taking a dump on a field.
The superintendent has taken a paid leave of absence from his $147,504 a year job. Leave can only be unpaid if a person is indicted or faces tenure charged. Wait, what? If a person is indicted or faces tenure charged.
I'm wondering if that's like a charge that tenure can be revoked for.
Yeah, that's
shitting on the football field is not one of those, apparently.
Yeah, but definitely doesn't help your PR. Doesn't help your public profile. One more from Colleen Bernier. This one okay.
After that, I do have a story that Jim brought up in chat that I want to do. So
okay, this one might be of interest to Monkey and Satsu, given their after-stream activities. Zombies made him do it, says kill man accused of ramming cars at Walmart.
Zombies made him do it.
Apparently so. The man accused of
fight zombies.
Well, it depends. The man accused of stealing a John Deere front-end loader, then using it to ram trailers and vehicles in a Walmart parking lot, told police, quote, he thought it was the end of the world and zombies were chasing him.
So he was high.
Probably. Sean Michael Stroud, 32, of Kiln, waived a preliminary hearing in Justice Court and remains in the Harrison County Jail on a $550,000 bond. A grand jury will decide whether he should be indicted and tried on one charge of grand larceny and 2 charges each of felony malicious mischief and aggravated assault. Stroud is accused of stealing the front-end loader in the early morning hours of April 8th from Gulf Recycling on Creosote Road. Police say he then drove it the short distance to Walmart on US 49, where mayhem ensued. Excuse me. Stroud is accused of hitting 2 occupied vehicles, several utility trailers, and 3 unoccupied vehicles. Gulfport police say they had to put down spike strips to stop Stroud in the nearby parking lot of a Nissan dealership after he fled in the front-end loader. At the police station, court documents say officers read Stroud his rights. He then told them about the zombies. County Prosecutor Herman Cox said police secured a search warrant to draw blood from Stroud so they could determine whether he was under the influence of alcohol or drugs.
Oh, come on. You know.
Thank you, Gregory Hurst. Zombies made him fuck that dog.
Zombies made him fuck the dog.
Oh, that's great.
They're like, do it.
All right. So what's your story, Monkey?
Okay. This one was brought to us by Jim Healis in chat here, actually. Jim, make sure you use the hashtag. You're cheating. No, I don't know if you did or not. But this is it's kind of a funny story, but it's kind of fucked up too. IHOP calls diner N-word on receipt, apologizes with $10 gift card. An IHOP restaurant in Missouri reportedly used the N-word to refer to a black teen on her receipt, then sent her a $10 gift card as an apology. Oops. Maya Thomas, 19, received the offensive receipt when she picked up her takeout order April 13th from the Grandview establishment, the Kansas City Star reported. She seemed distraught and upset when she showed it to me. Her mom, who spoke on her behalf, told the newspaper. And of course, it got me pissed. The teen called the chain to complain about the slur. Days later, she received a $10 gift card in the mail. I think that's what really made her mad, her mom said. Of all of the things you could call someone, you call them that, And then the way you deal with it is by giving them $10. Frustrated, her mom posted the receipt to social media where the image went viral. IHOP president Darren Rebellis said Tuesday the server's actions were inexcusable. Yeah, by the way, guys, this is not disputed at all. And they actually show the receipt. IHOP and its franchisees do not and will not tolerate racism, bigotry, or harassment of any kind. The server, who is also black, reportedly was fired from the restaurant following the incident. At the top of this, where you put a name, for the name, it's NIGGA. That's how they listed this.
If the server had been white, this would have been all over the fucking place.
Oh, yeah.
But still, that's just, I mean, if I can make a joke, at least you got reparations.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I don't know if he was like joking or why he did this, but that is fucking stupid.
That is an idiotic thing to do. Yes.
I think if it was $100 gift card, they wouldn't have reported it.
No!
They'd be like, all right, I'm gonna forgive you this.
Well,
they like, that's it? Just $10? Motherfuckers out here getting $10,000 settlements.
Well, here's the thing. The IHOP statement's the one that really confuses me. Because this was a black employee. So unless you're saying the black employee was racist against the black girl, racism isn't an issue here. It was a poor decision.
Well, it was a racial slur. It doesn't matter.
Well, hold on. According to the narrative, they're not able to be racist. So
exactly,
can't be an act of racism because black people can't be racist.
You know what probably happened? He probably asked her for her name, and she like ignored him. And like, all right, bitch. And
you know, it'd be funny if like a week later it came back and the dude like finally said something about it, like, that's my friend, and she told me to put that, but then I pissed her off. So
did it say it was a male server? Maybe I missed that part.
They said the server who was black. I don't think that it actually said here.
Okay.
I closed it, so let me.
Okay, no, it's all right. I'm just curious because I mean, not that it matters. I was just wondering if it said it was a guy.
I think. Why am I thinking it was? The server who is also black. No, it just says they was fired, so it doesn't use a he or she.
Okay.
I still say it's not racism. It's just a poor decision.
Well, yeah, I mean, I doubt the motivation was meant to be racist, but then it's hard to determine that in text when it's already done. So it's like,
I got an idea, Satsu.
Oh boy.
To get us some free IHOP. I'm gonna get a job there. You're gonna come in. I'm gonna put that at the top of your receipt.
Yeah.
And then we'll split the gift card.
$5? Oh boy, I can buy that stick of gum I always wanted.
Well, I'm white, so we'll at least get $20.
What does $5 buy you at IHOP? Probably a lot these days, huh?
Who knows?
I haven't been to IHOP since I was like 5.
I went to IHOP like 6 months ago. It was right before we went around Christmas time with my folks. I hadn't had IHOP in forever. Pancakes were good. We were like the first ones there, so everything was really fresh. It was great.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for the stories. We always appreciate your efforts on our behalf and the show's behalf. Yes, Monkey.
Jim Helis, he must have read a different story about it. It says the server's name was Destiny, so it's either female or it's a dude named Destiny.
Destiny? Okay. All right. So, YouTube time. Satsu, what were you up to today?
Well, I did my part too. To the whole Kanye video situation. And one thing that was bugging me about the last video that I was so riled up I didn't even think about was the fact that the quote that they were using was 400 years of slavery. And like my brain was telling me like 400 years, that sounds long. But I was like talking about the topic at hand because I wasn't really going to get into the finer details until next video anyway. But during that time, somebody sent me the video that Bering made, and he had clarified that slavery ended, what was it, 153 years ago. And from this year, it's been 300 397 days since the first slaves were brought over, or 397 years since the first slaves were brought over. And that's where the 400 figure comes from. And then it hit me, and I'm like, wait a minute. So in my mind, that brought even more context to what he was originally saying.
Yeah.
Because when you look at what he said, he's like, when you look at racism for 400 years, especially considering he had just got done saying that people are mentally enslaved today, what he was basically saying is people who have this mindset that we've been slaves for 400 years are willfully enslaving themselves because slavery ended a long time ago. Like, that shit's over with. So how can you be given a 400-year figure when slavery ended 153 years ago? And he was like, at that point, it seems like it's, you know, a choice. You are choosing to remain a slave, even though slavery has ended. And it made more sense, you know, with that context put into it. Because I'm like, what the fuck are these people talking about? And that shit just, it just clicked. So I went through that, just kind of going through the motions of having the conversation again, but under that context. And yeah, check it out. I recommend you guys check it out, because I can't go into all of it right now because you know how I get about this topic. But the pieces came together much better this time around than they did last time. And I also put in a sneak preview to my next video, which is going to be about Lupe Fiasco, who literally came out and said the exact words, slavery was a choice. And people are like, see, he's not wrong. He's right, because he said that slavery was a choice because the only other alternative was death. And I'm like, did I miss something? Y'all was just about to fucking throw Kanye to the dogs because he said that. And they're like, it's different. It's different. I'm like, no, it's absolutely not. But we'll get into that on the next video. So we'll see.
Alrighty. Monkey, what have you been up to?
Mostly trolling Twitter and then sleeping.
Oh, do you have some drama for us when we get to drama time?
Not really drama, just arguments I had today. There weren't any. You know what? Yeah, I'll save that for a moment. We can.
Okay. Any Grand Monkey stories?
No, I haven't seen her since the other day.
Oh, okay. Well, I unexpectedly, as sometimes happens, came across a video while I was at work, and it so piqued my interest that I just came home and just put my nose to the grindstone and made a video on it. It's a brief little video from The Root, our friends at The Root. The headline caught my attention. I can't quote it verbatim, I don't have it in front of me, but effectively it said that W. Kamau Bell, who you may or may not know him as a personality. He's a comedian. He also hosts a series on CNN called The United Shades of America. Tells a story of how the very first episode of his show, he went to interview members of the KKK as well as attend a cross burning. And this was back in 2016. And he tells a story of how the cross burning incident he was made to do by his white crew. Excuse me. And that as a consequence of that, he basically ultimatum CNN that they had to get rid of the white crew and replace them with the kinds of people he generally hangs out with. Now, I'm only kind of paraphrasing what he said. The phrases I used are almost literal quotes, the kind of people I hang out with, etc. And then he goes on to talk a little bit about his show and everything. And I found this really weird because he goes on to talk about how he's trying to promote diversity and inclusion. I'm like, maybe I missed something. I don't want to give away. There's a twist in my video. You you don't have to wait for it after the credits like Marvel, but it does come at the end. In regards to this story and the story he tells, and then the facts of the situation as reported 2.5 years ago or whatever. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it just caught my brain. And after doing 2 minutes worth of Googling, it raised a lot of questions. So anyway, that's what I worked on today. I have a couple other things that I have in the pipeline to work on. But my work week has been ridiculously busy and stressful. And so when I get home at night, the last couple of nights, I've been kind of like, I don't have the focus for making a video right now. I think I'll put that one off. But today, this one in particular, it was short. I think it's the first under 10-minute video I've done in quite a while. It wasn't as taxing as other things will be. So that's what I did today.
I do need to remind people tomorrow night, in Scribe fashion, one night only, we will be doing a nipple stream on my channel, guys. So if you want to torture me, tomorrow night's the night to do it.
Yes. And Monkey's taking names. This time he's going to give a shout out per nipple twist to say this one's for blah or whoever, because he's actually going to attribute it this time.
I usually do that. We've taken a few. We've done it before where we took some advanced donations, which I did this time. This time I wrote down the people who did it in advance. But donations will be tomorrow night. For $20, you can have my nipple tortured by my wife.
What's the current count on nipple twists that have been reserved? 2, 3,
4, 5. There's 6 on reserve right now.
Okay. I remember when we had 22 was I think the 22 is our record so far.
Pre-orders, yes.
Yeah, there was 22 at least on one nipple stream. Monkey had to have 22 twists of the nipples. So I don't know if we'll beat that. I mean, are you going to be taking requests tomorrow night as well, or is only the Okay, all right.
The pre-orders were done because there's going to be people who can't be there who wanted to be a part of it. Sanguine. So. I made the offer they could do that the other night, and so we got some donations for that, and they can listen to the scream. They're paid for screams the next day. I can't believe this is my life sometimes. I love you guys. You're sick and twisted just like me, and I love you for it.
Yep. So guys, if you have at least $20 burning a hole in your pocket by tomorrow night and would like to hear Monkey scream on your behalf and because of your actions, take note and be there tomorrow night.
You know, the only part that makes it fun for me is how excited Lady Monkey gets, because it hurts like fuck. She is mean as fuck about it, guys. But you should see the little smile you give her. She gets so happy.
Sounds like something Squishy would thoroughly enjoy.
I think when Lady Monkey comes over, like every time she comes to visit you for a round of nipple twisting, she needs to go, "Oh yeah,
oh yeah."
Oh yeah.
Which, by the way, was the Kool-Aid Man before Macho Man Randy Savage was even a thing. So
that's true. I think was the Kool-Aid Man busting through a wall pre Randy Savage?
Yeah, he was doing it when I was little, before I ever heard of WWF.
Okay. All right. All right. Drama time, not YouTube drama per se necessarily, but internet drama time. Monkey, you have something for us?
Well. This turned out to be less dramatic than I thought it was going to be, but I want to throw this out there. I had an argument yesterday with some of the IDS folks, including Vamp Candy, who is Tonka Saw's girlfriend, for those of you who don't know. And somebody today commented on it and said, I don't know if that's a guy or a girl. Now, when they said that, I wasn't sure if they were being facetious or if they actually couldn't tell from her profile picture. But I did want to throw this out there. If I'm ever arguing with somebody, male, female, whatever, I'm not going to really join anybody insulting them. It turns out this guy says he really didn't know, which is fine. But I'm not one of those people who, just because somebody disagrees with me, I start talking about how ugly they are or how, I'm not going to go like that on them. One, Vamp's kind of cute, to be honest. And two, I'm more interested in fucking with their ideas than how they look. The only time I bring up how they look is when it's some fat fuck who's telling me that they're healthy, and then that's a legitimate thing to bring up. So, stick to the arguments, guys, if you're going to join in.
I mean, Beth just said Satsu nipple night. Squishy would probably have a wicked twist. I'm sure she would. I mean, if that's something you guys want to do, that's fine. I figured that you guys would probably want to do something different. Like you wouldn't want to do the same thing. But I mean, if that's what you want, you know, it is what it is. But I just, I don't know. I wanted to do something slightly different. It's anything that doesn't include my balls. I got to be specific about that before motherfuckers start throwing out suggestions. Leave the dick alone, please.
Leave the wiener alone. The other thing, I got into an argument with some gun people today because apparently that new NORA, I don't know how you're supposed to say it. The group that's opposing the NRA.
NORA, yeah, it's really stupid.
They're having some rally or something soon, and I just asked, and this is a sincere question. If they were going to make a difference when they're up there talking about, I'm using air quotes here, gun violence between people who were murdered and people who killed themselves. Because what the anti-gun folks like to do is throw those two numbers together. And the reason they do that is because it makes it look dramatically worse than it is for gun violence, using air quotes again. For instance, if you look at the total number of homicides by gun, I think the last year that I saw, it was like almost 13,000. That same year, 22,000 people killed themselves with a firearm. When you take that 13,000 and add 22 to it, it looks like a much bigger number than it is when you're talking about violent crime, which, let's be honest, is what they're trying to portray when they talk about gun violence. And I actually had a long argument with somebody who just was not getting my point here about why that is a dirty thing to do. We never hear about a rally because, you know, somebody shot themselves. It's always after, you know, Parkland or some stupid shit like that we have to hear about gun violence. And then they still use like the suicide statistics, which is fucking dirty, if you ask me. That is, it's at best misleading. And I really want somebody from that organization to answer whether or not they think that that's a valid thing to do, because it to me it seems really dirty. I had a very long argument about it today. Angry Introvert, this mess is being led by Alyssa Milano. It's not being led by her. She is one of many, actually. Excuse me. Lies, damn lies, and statistics. Yeah, it's amazing. Disingenuous. It's disingenuous as fuck. It is. It really is. It's like you're saying, you know, 13,000 people dying by murder isn't enough. We need to slap the rest of this. And I asked them, and I meant this quite seriously, if somebody hanging themselves is rope violence. Because by their terminology, it would be. So yeah.
Well, is the argument that, just to play minor devil's advocate here, is the argument that sure, they include those deaths because you could conceivably connect those to mental health checks on people who own guns?
Well, I would say no.
From what anybody said that I was.
Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, go ahead.
I don't think so, because a lot of times, or at least from what I've seen, it's when people kill themselves. Well, I guess if you're talking about depression as a mental health issue, compared to like, because I don't know if they check that. They're like, if you go in to buy a gun, are you deeply depressed? And you're like, every day you can't have a gun.
Well, I don't know how feasible it is to do such a thing, but if the argument is that suicides are counted amongst gun violence deaths because suicides could fall under the same kind of rules and checks one would hope one does for someone who has a history of mental illness or something like that, or who has some kind of record with the police for having done things that were mentally unstable, maybe that's why they bring it under the same umbrella. I'm not saying it's necessarily justified depending on the argument, but I could see how laws that apply to gun sales on a mental health level could then be extended to make the argument that would include suicides.
I wouldn't have a problem with that argument if they mentioned that a large number, the vast majority of the number actually is suicide.
Sure.
That to me is the problem. It's not necessarily that they're including that number. It's that they're not being honest about how they're including that number. Okay. And as it was pointed out in chat, they also include justifiable deaths in this, getting shot by the police, somebody breaking into somebody's home and getting shot.
Yeah.
All of these numbers are thrown in when you hear about gun violence. They include anybody who died by a gun, period. Gotcha. Except war. They don't include that. But and it's the way they do it is deceitful, in my opinion, because they don't mention it. We get like at Parkland, what has been the story that we hear? We got to keep kids safe. They got to be safe at schools. There's not nobody said a goddamn thing about we got to stop kids from shooting themselves. To me, that would at least be honest. And that's what I did today. That's how I spent my morning before I went and took my long ass nap.
Long ass nap. Monkey's butt's asleep.
Pat says, I used to have a mad crush on Alyssa Milano, but now I can't stand her. Well, here's the thing. I think Alyssa Milano is still cute, and I don't think I'd want to hear her speak. So that's why God invented blowjobs. So you stick your dick in that mouth, and she can't. And suddenly you have a beautiful woman again.
Yeah, you just go watch vampires kiss, and you don't have to worry about it.
There you go.
So even though we kind of almost entered one there, do we have a deep topic or any other drama that I'm unaware of?
I don't know of any drama because I went to the movies today and I was like, I'm not letting nothing fuck up my day today. I'm going to the movies.
Yeah. The worst part about Avengers Infinity War was having to watch that Venom trailer again.
Yeah. See you, Sarah. Oh,
bye, Sarah Plyer.
They're really trying to pull that off without Spider-Man. Huh?
Yeah, and it's gonna suck. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, when I saw the Punisher TV show, being a Punisher fan, being someone who's familiar with the Punisher, I was not a fan of the show. Someone who is unfamiliar with the Punisher and watching it and has no idea what is or is not, appropriate for the character, etc., probably doesn't think the show's that bad. And I could see that. I could understand. The Venom movie, if someone has no idea who Venom is and just sees like Tom Hardy being a badass with an alien thing talking to him and he's going around killing people in a sort of quasi anti-hero fashion, doesn't know that Eddie Brock isn't supposed to be a nice guy and so on, yeah, they could probably enjoy the movie. It might make $1 billion. It's going to suck, though, for anybody who actually gives a shit. Thank you, Ragnak Ulfbert. If you miss fire by accident and the instructor marks that down, even that is counted as gun violence. They use practically everything they can.
Yep. Anyway. Regarding the Venom movie, for me, I think the most insulting thing is that the Venom monster itself looks like somebody poured tar on Oscar the Grouch. And it's just such an ugly suit. And I realize that, getting that Venom suit to look that way is probably hard. But in the comic books, unless it's something recent, he never looked like he was some nasty, oily figure. It still formed to him. It made a normal costume about it. Yeah. So there was no reason to do that.
Yeah, the slimy, I mean, in most of the classic iterations of the character being rendered by either McFarlane or Eric Larson made the face far more alien over time than McFarlane ever did. But the suit was visibly, at least to anybody looking at it, no different than Spider-Man's suit. It was just a skin-tight outfit. They can do that without making it look like it's the Exxon Valdez leaked all over a guy.
Mm-hmm. It's horrible.
Yeah, so it looks like a big shiny yucky alien thing. And I can understand them doing that for the effect kind of deal or not having to explain too much, but they also, I guess they can get away with that because this thing has no origin as Spider-Man's suit. It was just a glob of goop they found on a crashed spaceship or something. And yeah, it's going to be it's going to be bad. And I'm morbidly curious to see what the explanation is for it, and especially the explanation for its powers, and most especially, if they put that white spider symbol on his chest, how they justify that in a story without Spider-Man.
Now, when I watched Infinity War, they didn't play that trailer. They played a different one that really annoyed me, and I'm curious what you guys think. The new Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah.
To me, this is almost, and granted, it's just going by the trailer, but you have the special dinosaur who has the connection with the man, which makes a lot of sense. But all the dinosaurs basically escape. It's basically Jurassic Park 2.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 2 sucked.
Yeah.
You just fixed your franchise with Jurassic World. You brought it back to what it was supposed to be. You got this island of dinosaurs. I don't see why they're going down the same shitty path.
Well, what other story could they have?
They could fix the park.
Well, Jurassic Park is all about dinosaurs escaping, dinosaurs being a threat. If you just had a functional park and everything was going fine, how else do you build conflict with dinosaurs as part of your story? They have to be on the run and on the loose. That's really all it is. Every single one of the Jurassic Park movies in one way, shape, or form is about people running away from dinosaurs. Now, you can come up with a zillion different scenarios as to where they're running away from them or why they're running away from them, but it's always going to be people running away from dinosaurs.
I get that, and I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but this was just a little too reminiscent. And again, the dinosaur man connection thing, they have that emotional connection. It's fucking retarded. I don't know how many of you have seen like the old King Kongs when they're flying him across. I'm like, oh my god, they're just ripping off King Kong. They're gonna put him in a city and turn him loose, aren't they? I don't know. I just thought it was too reminiscent of the other one, and it's like they're gonna do the exact same thing. I mean, like 3 is gonna come out and it's gonna have no fucking connection at all to the other ones except for one character.
Well, weren't they trying to like militarize or turn them into weapons in Jurassic World? I don't know. When I saw that point, I felt like it was continuation because they were trying to then they made, I guess with the genes, they made like an ultimate one, and he's like, fuck, we got to stop them from doing that. So I mean, as far as that part goes, I'm just like, I mean, that's cool. There's a new dino, and he's all fucking badass.
Where you take these dinosaurs that you've weaponized and drop their ass in Iraq and see what happens.
I don't know what would happen.
It'll be people running from dinosaurs.
Now, what we need is to have some kind of ludicrous crossover, sort of like 21 Jump Street and Men in Black.
Oh my god!
So here's a deep topic thought experiment, and the chat can join in, of course. All right, what current, and I don't mean something that's from years and years ago, but what current movie franchise should, by all rights, be crossed with Jurassic World?
Star
what would be
Wars.
The best? No, can't. Okay, here's another thing. Cannot be a current Disney-owned franchise. It's got to be from somewhere else. It's got to be from some other
thing.
Yeah, well, I know Disney owns everything, but Disney's too easy. Disney's too easy, and Star Wars, no. So what? And it has to be of a different genre. Here's the other thing: is because 21 Jump Street and Men in Black, you got sci-fi versus sort of like cop comedy, buddy cop comedy thing.
I got one.
All right, go ahead.
The fish humping movie. What was that?
The what?
The chick who falls in love with the fish thingy.
Oh, The Shape of Water.
Yeah, there you go. Mix those two. People can be humping dinosaurs in their backyard trailer.
You know what I would like to see?
What's that?
I would like to see Jason versus dinosaurs. Dude,
Jurassic
that would be fucking just dinos just running at him. He just slashing them in half.
I don't mean to interrupt that train of thought, but the Shape of Water thing reminded me. Did you guys see the story today about how women are fucking fish.
Oh yeah,
I didn't read it because I'm just like, nope. I told myself I'm not doing this today. I'm going to the movies. That's just gonna happen.
I know the perfect franchise. Or actually, I know two. First, imagine if you will, Transformers versus Jurassic Park.
Well, then they kind of do that with like, with the.
Well,
with
I mean, Dinobots. That's where the Dinobots come in.
right. Oh,
Or,
Dinobots versus like actual giraffe. That'd be sweet.
Yeah. Or if you can imagine a brontosaurus and a muscle car riding down its spine, the Fast and the Jurassic. The Fast and the Furious versus Jurassic Park. I think that'd be great. I think that would make $1 zillion trillion. You take those two franchises and those two fan bases, mix them together, you're going to make a ton of money.
Scribe, that's too easy because I feel like that's coming already.
No. It's not easy. It's Hollywood.
I feel like that's happening already. Like that's probably in the works right now.
Let me find that fish sex story.
Oh, I have it right here, and
okay.
I didn't actually read it, but I'm reading through parts of it, and this. Oh God, I gotta read this to you.
Okay.
The Pisces is a book that's apparently out right now, and on the cover of it, there's actually a woman hugging a fish in a romantic embrace.
Mm-hmm.
So this goes, but the Pisces and Guillermo del Toro's Oscar-winning The Shape of Water also seem to have arrived during an inflection point for heterosexual relations, as some straight women have thrown their hands up in despair at the prospect of dealing with straight men.
Real quick, Monkey.
Sure.
Thank you, Gregory Hurst. Jurassic World was awful. They might as well just go full cheese, make the dinosaurs talk, and have them stage a Planet of the Apes style armed revolution.
Yes.
I never saw Jurassic World because I thought that franchise has been milked to absolute dry bone at this point, so I didn't care.
I didn't mind it until the end, which was a little too convenient.
I liked it. And the end was very convenient, but I did like seeing a mosasaur because those things are sweet.
Yeah, I enjoyed the movie itself, though.
Circus Zero says Predator versus Jurassic Park. That's a good idea.
That'd be sweet.
That'd be good. All right. Sorry, Monkey.
These men who grope us and talk down to us and consistently fail to clean the bathroom, we're supposed to make lives with them? Let them touch us? Women woke up one day to find their husbands voted for Donald Trump and their sons have been shitposting on incel boards. We haven't talked about incels on this channel. We should do that soon.
Where did this word is this a word that has already existed that I just didn't know about?
This was new to me like 48 hours ago. I never heard it before. I had to what is that? I thought it was a mistype on a tweet or something, like somebody had left out a couple letters.
It's chat more. Apparently fish will clean the bathroom. This is just women are apparently turning to thoughts of fucking fish because men won't clean the bathroom.
By the way, women didn't vote for Trump. It was just
no, they didn't. Let's discuss incels for a minute. Incels been around for a while, but it's one of those things the media has made really big, and it was like just this really tiny thing. For those of you who don't know, it means involuntary celibacy. Which they actually mean chastity, but okay. And it's guys who are weak and not good looking, and they blame Chads, good looking men like me, and is it Stacy's? Yeah,
I don't know. This is news to me. This is a whole new world.
Okay, there's Chads and Stacy's. Stacy's are all women. Apparently, that's the only kind of woman there is.
Oh, is that different from Becky's?
Yes, it is different than Becky's because Becky's are only white chicks.
Oh, okay.
A Stacy can be any color. Stacy's will only fuck Chads because Chads are what society tells women they gotta fuck.
Okay, so the cheerleader and the jock kind of thing.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
And then incels are the guys who desperately want sex and think Stacy's should fuck them. But society says they're not fuckable, so nobody will fuck them, so they're mad about it. That's basically it.
Well, here's my advice to the incels. Stacy's mom has got it going on.
She does.
Yeah. She's all I want, and I've waited so long.
What's funny about that is these dudes usually are kind of engaging in what people would consider the proper form of masculinity nowadays. And these are the people that women are championing and saying they are an inspiration. You should be more like them. Men should be more like this. But they are also the people that they're making fun of right now and laughing at them because they can't get ass. And they're like, you'll never get ass because you're a fucking loser. Also, you should strive to be a loser so more women will like you. But nobody will like you, really. We'll just be happy because men will be emasculated.
Real quick, Kara says so. Incels are basically nice guys. No.
Nah.
Not in this formation. No.
No, the people who identify as this, they are not nice people. And if you read what they say and stuff, they are not. There's a reason they're not getting laid, and it's not their looks. Their hero is that dude who killed women because they what's his name? Fuck, somebody help me out here.
I have thankfully forgotten because he's a waste of space.
Yeah, he is.
Sorry.
So his name pops up anytime misogyny is mentioned.
Yeah, the thing is, they are true. I mean, the word gets thrown around a lot, but as far as I can tell, Elliot Rodger, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
So if Elliot Rodgers, Elliot Rodger is the archetype of an incel, and that's what I kind of understood from the little bit I knew. The word misogynist actually applies.
Yes.
He
believes that women owe him, and that's not a man. That's definitely not a nice man. That's an asshole, and fuck him and fuck anybody like him. Here's the deal. Women are not as complicated as you think. These guys are really socially awkward too. That's a given. And if you look at like Elliot Rodger and the stupid shit he says, you really get that from him. It's not that women wouldn't have fallen for this guy. He wasn't an ugly dude. His problem was his approach. He felt entitled, and that turns women off, guys. There's a difference between being confident and being an entitled dickhole.
Yeah. There's
especially a whiny entitled dickhole.
Yes.
Yeah, there's confidence, and then there's arrogance. They are easily confused, and you only kind of find out that it's arrogance once you start to get to know a person. And that's always a tough trap. And I think guys who are arrogant and full of themselves, they exude it so easily because the only person they have to impress is themselves. And anybody else, it's like, so I mean, I was there in the sense growing up. I was the 79-pound glasses wearing weak nerd, and I was always envious of people who had more self-confidence and felt more at ease talking to girls and things like that. I didn't resent anybody for it. I was more sort of mad at myself that I couldn't sort of take a chance or step out of my shell or whatever. So thankfully I didn't go down the route of absolute insanity, but I can empathize with people who have a difficult time connecting with others. I can't empathize with somebody that hates women because they're women and not giving them what they think they deserve.
Right.
I'm sorry, Kara meant nice guys. She should have put quotes around there. Yes, if that's what you mean, yes. The guys who why won't women sleep with nice guys? I'm a nice guy, and I've been having sex since I was 15.
We're getting some pushback. Faith is Abdication and Nicodemus are basically saying you guys are painting all of them with the brush of a few outliers.
Go read. Okay, I'm talking about people who actually identify as this. And
Monkey specifically said people who like use that identification.
Yeah. There are just socially awkward guys who are not incels, who are not on message boards blaming women for their problems. And even the ones, I wouldn't even consider the guys who, pull that, why don't they like nice guys, to all be incels. Right. These are people who have adopted that and have joined groups to basically sit around and bitch about how women have ruined their lives. Women and Chads. Don't forget the Chads part. Chads are bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I know there's been several instances where I've had women that I have known or been in my life who... I had a crush on or, might have pursued or something, but they were seeing someone who treated them like absolute garbage. And, everything fell apart for them. And then they stand there going like, God, why can't I find a nice guy?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, it's not one of those things where it's like I feel friend zoned or something. But at the same token, it's sort of like, well, because you keep making bad decisions, you made a
Yeah.
choice.
I've had a few girls like stop being my friend because I stopped with the bullshit and start telling them the truth. They're just like, man, there's no nice guys out here. I'm like, you're not looking for nice guys. That's not what you're looking for. You got to be looking for it to find it, and you ain't looking for that, so you ain't finding it.
You know what happened, in my opinion, and I've seen this with guys. These Stacys. The Stacys aren't the problem. It's that you're focused on one or two Stacys that are not interested in you at all. There are tons of women out there, and it's amazing that these guys, I mean, I've never heard them bitch that, you know, some plain girl or some fat girl's not giving them attention. No, it's always that some model type isn't. You know what? One, there's plenty of women out there who are very beautiful who would probably really like you if you weren't such a awkward douche. But two, you can't really blame all women when you're specifically going for one type, and obviously they don't like you. Just throwing that out there. The other thing I wanted to bring up about this is what's her name? Ellen Cho? Is that her name? The one that
Ellen Powell.
Powell, yes, Powell. Thank you,
Chairman Powell.
I just went all kinds of races there with Chow, didn't I? My bad. She's the one who sued, I forget what company, for sexual harassment.
She sued a law firm, I think it was, and then she ended up as CEO of Reddit, I think it was for a while. Just a little bit, yeah.
And she got the job at Reddit solely based on that lawsuit, which she lost because the truth of the matter is she was fucking a dude who was married, and she wasn't very good at her job. So
people didn't like her.
Yeah, she took those two things and put them together and tried to get paid from it. But she put out the other day a tweet that said, "Dear CEOs, you probably have incels in your company. What are you going to do about it?"
Oh, that was the tweet where the first time I ever saw the word incel. That's the tweet I saw. Not only did she misspell a whole bunch of other words in that, but that's why I thought it was some kind of typo, because I was like, "What the fuck is that? Is that, like I said, is it missing a couple of letters on either end? Because I don't know what that word is."
Well, here's what I would do if you're a CEO and you suspect that there's incels in your company and that's a worry for you. Hire prostitutes.
Get them laid.
Get them laid. That's what they need. Because getting laid, guys, as a man, and women, you're not going to understand this, so just stop listening for a second. As a man, the thing that will build your confidence the most is having sex. Period. Preferably with women who want to do it, but I mean, I'm sure paying for it wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, because just because you paid them don't mean that they want to.
Yeah. But they'll, I mean, if you go to one of those nice ones like they show on HBO, I've never been to a hooker before, so I'm going based on what I've seen on TV. They have those nice brothels out in Las Vegas, well, outside of Las Vegas, where they will treat you like you are the best man that ever walked in there. You don't want a street whore, because they're just going to suck your dick, and they'll actually. I saw one where the bitch actually was complaining that the guy didn't come fast enough. And if I paid a bitch to suck my dick and she did that, I would smack her. I'm not kidding. Anyhow, I'm sorry. You have a super chat there.
Oh, thank you, Terry Diamantis. By tons of women, do you mean one feminist? Oh,
yeah,
ouch.
Probably.
I mean the binder's full of women.
Faith is abdication of reason said attacking incels is just another way of attacking all straight men. No,
wait a second. Who's using a broad brush now? Wait a second.
If you're talking about the way that it's being used in the media right now, I wouldn't necessarily disagree.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
And that's why incels have become the new alt-right for the media. It's a word one of them picked up and they're throwing it all around. They really are a tiny group. It's not some mega force of nerds who are coming to hurt women. Oh, yeah, see, Faith said in the media. So yeah, I'd agree with you on that. So
it's kind of like the hordes of men who are protesting against Mad Max Fury Road because it has a girl in it.
Yes,
and it was like one blog or whatever.
Yeah, that one guy in this one blog who we can't identify or don't know is real. He said he doesn't like it, which obviously means everyone hates it.
Yeah, because Return of King said something. Well, that means all men agree.
Oh, that's just like the teabagging thing that's going on right now with Overwatch because they're talking about banning it, like making it a ban.
Teabagging. Yeah. So if I crouch, does that count as how do they notify or understand that I'm teabagging someone if I just happen to crouch in a sniper position where somebody else's body happens to be nearby? Is that an automatic violation?
The most recent event, they both were playing with Tracer. Tracer's a female, by the way. And dude got killed by the chick, and he resurrected, found her and killed her back really quick. And before he ran off, like he teabagged her a couple times. And the crowd was like, "Oh, dude,
thanks,
come on!"
Love you.
The crowd was like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, because they were just like, "Oh, damn!" Yeah, you know what I mean? And they said that they were trying to figure out whether or not they can equate that with sexual assault.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
Do you guys teabag your zombies?
No.
Oh, you should.
No, because they might still be alive, and I don't like my.
When we used to play WoW, if somebody died, we would teabag them. And this is somebody on our own team and not in PvP. If you died in a dungeon, we would teabag your ass just to have fun. And there was a female, one of my tanks was a female, and she did it. And they're like, that's not teabagging. She doesn't have a bag. So we came up for a word for this, and I want this to become a thing, guys, because I love it.
Yeah.
We called it a taco drop.
I like that.
That's awesome.
On that note, guys, it is the bottom of the hour. The next 30 minutes, or 29 now, is all yours for questions, comments, conspiracy theories, complaints, movie crossovers that should happen because they're ridiculous.
Waffles.
Kara doesn't know what teabagging is. Okay, well, Kara, teabagging is slang for a what is considered a sexual act, I suppose, though I suppose you'd have to have a very specific fetish to find it attractive or whatever. But effectively what it is when a man takes his testicles, and specifically his scrotum, and lays it on a woman's face or body or thereabouts in sort of an act of dominance or teasing or something else. In gaming, it basically means you go over to a fallen victim and you crouch up and down on it a couple of times to sort of mark your territory in a way. That's what teabagging is.
Yeah, it's to demoralize your opponent, like just to shake them up and get them upset so they get knocked off their game. The same as, but the thing was, okay, so here's the issue. They said that multiple people in the gaming sphere dislike this and finds it distasteful, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole article, was about how people complain about it, how it's not a nice thing, how gamers everywhere are constantly talking about it and saying that it's an issue. And then when she got to the section about anti-SJWs, pretty much making fun of the SJWs talking about that, she said that anti-SJWs came out to make fun of these people, which is very strange considering there are little to no actual complaints about teabagging.
No, it's just an accepted part of the game. From anybody who plays, men, women alike.
It's taunting. It's shit talking on a video game level. That's all it is. And of course, it's not supposed to be pleasant. It's a fucking tease. It's a taunt. It's supposed to rile you up. That's the whole point. Psychological warfare, a little bit.
Yeah,
the only
but that's
way
what
it can happen
fucked
is
me
if you die.
That's what fucked me up about it, is the fact that she started off by saying this is a huge issue in the gaming industry, and then ended it after she was talking about people who made fun of people who complained about it by saying that there were very little complaints to be found online about the act itself. I'm like, then why is this article a thing? You literally just contradicted the entire article.
Thank you, Cryptic. Teabagging is for amateurs. When I was in the USMC, we used to do worse. Think pubic hair, pillow, eggs, and short cheating. Jesus.
Yikes.
Gross.
Wow.
You're Asian. Gross. You have pubic hair?
It's hard to tell because they always blur that part out.
That's true. That's true.
Real quick, I want to reiterate. RJ Bansma is doing a live Q&A on his channel. What day is that, RJ? I don't think I've seen you actually say. But he's taking questions on Twitter at the hashtag RJLightning68 Q&A. So if you have questions for him, he asked that they not be political. So do that. I want to talk about something I saw on Twitter since we don't have an actual question right now. This was somewhere in London. Somebody posted this Wednesday, May 2nd, thought of the day. When you see something beautiful in someone, tell them. It may take a second to say, but for them, it could last a lifetime.
Oh my God.
And this is what a feminist posted on Twitter about this. Thought of the day. Why not take the time to sexually harass a stranger? And she goes on for quite a bit. Yeah.
I knew it.
Something beautiful has to be something sexual. It's like,
I knew it.
I really like your tits.
Yeah. The thought of that is actually really cool, and it's something I do all the time. And I've told this story to you, Scribe. I don't know if you've heard this, Satsu, but when I worked at Walmart, I used to always greet people who worked for me like, "Hi, beautiful," or "Wow, you look really nice today." And there was one girl, everybody liked it, but this one girl looked at me one time. She goes, "Why do you do that?" I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Always compliment me." I'm like, It's just something I do because I think if there's something nice about something, you should tell them. And then after that, it actually got to the point one day I didn't compliment her, and she got mad about it. She's like, "Why didn't you compliment me today?" I'm like, "I was busy. I just didn't think. I'm sorry." And no, it doesn't have to be something like "you have a nice ass." That's the incel way to do it. I like how your hair looks today. This is something that will boost somebody all fucking day long. And this bitch is like, they want to see my titties. No,
we need. Oh, go ahead. We need to, in order to fix this situation, we need to just stop complimenting women altogether. And what's going to happen is the mass amount of women who actually enjoy it and like the compliment are going to, like, they're going to revolt against the feminists and be like, "Look, bitches, stop telling people not to say nice things to us." And that'll solve that problem once and for all. Because now they can't be like, "We're speaking for women everywhere," when we tell you that women don't like it. And when that fucking large ass group of women come and say, "Stop fucking up our men," then they're
just real quick, RJ's stream is going to be on May 11th at 9 p.m. There you go. Sorry, keep going. I apologize.
So I don't know, maybe this is a revelation for people or not, but you might be surprised at the kind of brightness and nice reaction you get if you just notice that somebody got a haircut.
Oh, yes.
I cannot tell you how many times, like, coworkers or like the barista or whatever, there's somebody that I see on a regular basis, and I come in, the next day or whatever, and their hair is different. Either it's different style, it's shorter, whatever. And I just say, "I really like your hair," or "what you've done with your hair." And you just see them like, "Oh, you noticed." It's like, it's very simple. It's not creepy unless you like go, "I like your hair," but otherwise.
Real quick, Jean-Pierre sent this to me on Twitter. Oh, dear God.
Yes.
Roman Polanski will fight against Academy expulsion. We want due process.
Well, will he come back to the United States to do it?
Probably not. Dude, you anally raped a 13-year-old. Fuck you. You should have a bullet in your head. And I'm sorry, guys, if you don't like that. This dude anally raped a 13-year-old girl. Fuck him.
He drugged her, I think, was part of the equation. Yeah.
Drugged her, yeah.
Was it Quaaludes back then? Was that what he used on her?
I don't know if I don't know if I've ever seen exactly what he used, but yeah, he drugged her and fucked her in the ass. So fuck him. Let's see.
Kitty Stalker says, "Yesterday I had a dude compliment me on my purple and green hair. It was random, but it made my day." There you go.
Random compliments. It's amazing how much they will pick somebody up. And I'm not saying this because I've complimented people that have been picked up. I'm saying because, if somebody's done that to me, like when I started losing weight, people, you're looking really nice, and that would make my whole fucking day.
Yeah.
Either pick them up or absolutely destroy their souls.
I remember seeing a friend of mine who I hadn't seen in months for various reasons, and for anyone else, it might have been a poor choice of words, but I came up to her, I looked at her, I said, "There's less of you here." And she was like, "Oh, you noticed?" And she had lost a lot of weight. I just said, there's so much, there's a lot less of you here. And she didn't take it like, "Oh, so I was like super fat before," or whatever. But, she took it as she meant, because she had been working hard to work out to lose weight. And, I noticed. So there you go.
No, the thing you mentioned about haircuts, that is a huge one. I mean, or anything. Oh my God, Cryptic.
Oh shit. Cryptic, thank you. You guys are right. No pubic hair, since it can be used as blindfold for me.
Oh my God.
Now I don't feel so bad.
Dude.
Sorry, Monkey. I just couldn't help myself.
No,
that was
no,
hilarious.
That says feminists like compliments. They just want to pick and choose who compliments them. That's true.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the Lena Dunham story with the football player? I forget his name. She got mad because he didn't compliment her.
Oh, right.
He didn't talk to her at all, really. And he probably just doesn't like girls like me. Well, probably that's probably true. But if he had, you would have been out there bitching that he wanted your body.
Yeah.
Somebody asked a little bit earlier, who was that? Let me see. Sir Wolfgang says, I just picked up 7 Days to Die, and I was wondering if you had any tips. I'm going to give you, Satsu, you want to give your normal tip? Because this is great.
Yeah. Basically, keep playing through the 7 days in the beginning. Like, you'll start off and you'll have 7 days to get the Horde Night. My recommendation to you is keep playing to that 7th day until you are satisfied with your base and you survive the Horde Night. If you don't survive and you're not satisfied with where you are, start over. And just keep doing that repeatedly until you are satisfied with where you are, because that is the best way to learn how to play, because nothing is rougher than the first 7 days of that game. And putting yourself through that, it almost forces you to get good. You kind of have to. And as you you'll notice every time you go through it, you'll start getting faster and you'll start getting better and you'll start realizing what items you need and what items you don't. It's just for me, it's been the most efficient way to play that game. So
I would also recommend watching somebody who plays the first 7 days, whether it be me and Satsu, you should do that, or somebody like Cage 848. Just get an idea of a first base build to know what you're working towards. But otherwise, yeah, just play, because you're going to learn so much by playing and failing. Believe me, I know. Let's see. I have a complaint. There aren't enough likes, guys. Why aren't you liking this? My ego, y'all.
They don't like me.
Let's see. Yeah,
you guys would be complimenting me if you put a thumbs up on there.
There you go. And you know how compliments work. Yeah. I just saw that today, and that pissed me off so much. Yeah, there you go. That's what they were going for. Sexually harass strangers on the street.
Yeah, people are fucking dumb. But you know how it goes.
Harvos asks, who's Dr. Oz, and why is him being appointed to Sports and Fitness Council something by Trump pissing Jeff Holiday off? Isn't he Oprah, the guy Oprah made famous?
Oh, yeah, Yeah. You know, it's amazing how between Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz, Oprah just has to anoint someone and suddenly they become a celebrity.
Yeah.
That's power. I tell you what, that is power. If you can just sort of give somebody attention and they become famous as a result and get a career and millions of dollars, that is power.
No. You can't call it power. It's got to be something else. Black people don't have that.
They ain't got no power.
No.
Dr. Oz occasionally has supported some, let's call it pseudoscience, and that's something Jeff is against. He's a big believer in Western medicine, not any of that other shit. So that's probably why he's upset by it. Excuse me. Bloodwing did make a video today, and if you guys haven't seen it, it's fucking hilarious. Go watch it. It was a message for me. And Bloodwing, I'd just like to say, kiss my ass.
Uh-oh.
I'd also like to point out, and I don't know if he wants me to, but I'm going to do it anyway. Jack Gunsky made a video today regarding our discussion last night, where he disagreed with me about shit. What were you talking about last night? Oh, Michelle Wise, whatever fuck her name was, who did the correspondence dinner.
Wolf? Was it Wolf?
Wolf. There you go, Michelle Wolf. He made a video about that. Check that out too. For the record, guys, I don't care. I don't want to say I don't care if you disagree with me. I don't mind if you disagree with me. That's part of what we do here. How's that purple gorilla I gave you earlier in the week? Every time she looks at you, she wants to fuck you. She's a perv like you. I missed it. What purple gorilla? Who's your favorite 80s WWF star? Oh, man.
Oh.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Because he was retarded and he had a stick.
You know, it's kind of a toss-up between Jake the Snake Roberts and the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Okay.
Those two guys, the characters of those two guys, the kind of villains that they were, more or less. I really like those guys.
Nothing for you here. I don't always disagree with Ranting Monkey, but when I do, he's usually right. Thank you. I appreciate that. You looked great on the video. Yeah, in the video, by the way, in Bloodwing's video, he took my picture and put poop on its head. Jean-Pierre says I have to default to Hulk Hogan. Hulk was great, but there were so many great characters in 80s WWF.
I just like the fact that DiBiase had his own belt.
Yes,
like he had a big dollar bill belt that he wore, and he'd like bought himself his own championship belt that he took everywhere. And of course, it was a big deal if somebody beat Ted DiBiase and took his belt from him and walked off with it. You know, that was always kind of cool.
Well, yeah, back then they had. I mean, these days as I watch it, it's all about how tough you are.
Yeah.
And back then it was all about the different characters. I mean, there were so many good ones. Who was the bulldog guy? The black guy.
What, Junkyard Dog?
Junkyard Dog, yes, thank you.
Yeah, Junkyard Dog was great.
Him.
Yeah, Junkyard Dog, and I also like the promoters. That's like half of the fun. You had the Mouth of the South. You had Miss Elizabeth. You had oh god, what was the guy with the bowler hat? Mr. Chang or whatever his name was. Dang it, I forget all of a sudden. Mr. Fuji. That's what it was.
Yeah, Mr. Fuji. You're right.
Mr. Fuji. Yeah, all those guys. You know, it was a living comic book. It was cheese. It was great.
Judge Death said Bulldog Brothers. No, it was the British Bulldogs.
No, British Bulldog is something else. Yeah, Junkyard Dog is somebody else. And you know, Junkyard Dog and Miss Elizabeth and Mr. Fuji and Mouth of the South, all those guys, they were in the WWF cartoon. I remember watching that cartoon religiously, like every weekend. I was like, oh boy, because they were so silly. It wasn't so serious. It was big, over-the-top comic book characters. It was wonderful.
Jean-Pierre says Road Warriors. They were actually more WCW. They came in near the end of their career to the WWF. They were a lot more fun in WCW.
Coco Beware and his parrot.
Oh god. Coco, yes.
Coco Beware. Andre the Giant. Yeah, Andre the Giant's classic.
Now people are saying the fucking wrestling is a sitcom for men.
It's not. It's
back
not
then.
Untrue. Well, it's actually more of a soap opera for men.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I meant to say. A soap opera for men.
I forget. For a short time, some friends of mine got me into watching it again. We get together and just kind of watch it to laugh at it. And for a very brief moment, I sort of had a lot of nostalgia for sort of the over-the-top comic book nature of it, because I forget what the names of these guys were, but they were these kind of hillbilly swamp guys who part of their act was like doing voodoo rituals for and against their opponents and everything. And it was such a cool setup, and their little theme song was so creepy. I was like, yes, that is old school. I love it. I forget who those guys were, but it was great.
No, because WWF, you had to have cable to watch, and we were poor. WCW you could watch on regular TV, so we watched a lot more of that. So like the Road Warriors, Rock and Roll Express, Dusty Rhodes. I fucking love those guys. And
Roddy Piper.
Oh, he was great.
Roddy Piper was great. Yeah.
But yeah, I've tried watching wrestling since, because I know so many people are still into it, and I loved it as a kid. But I hate how serious it's turned.
Yeah, these guys. I mean, they were kind of scary. They were sort of like they were like the Undertaker was kind of like horror aspect to it.
Yeah.
And if you have one character that's like that, or one little team up that has that genre to it, but you don't make everything like that, then that's cool. They stand out. But if you make everything so dark and like business and serious, and it loses its luster for me. It's got to be a bit more ridiculous to be cool.
Yeah, I need it to be silly.
Yeah.
And yeah, whoever brought that up, thank you for bringing up the 80s WWF, because yeah, that was a great time.
Let's see. Now they're all talking about wrestling.
Oh, I got World WCC wrestling. Yeah, I used to watch that too, Pat. Blood Ring says, I grew up on Dick the Bruiser. Is that your uncle's name?
Dick the Bruiser. Is that the girl that sucks too hard?
Have you guys played Bayonetta? I just started for the first time. Thoughts on it? I haven't played it.
I played the first one, but I've never played the second one. Bayonetta's sweet, man. If you like Devil May Cry, it's that but with a chick. And the moves are like a lot. They're like super sexualized, which which Anita Sarkeesian would tell you is a problem, but I will tell you because like she fights with her hair, but her hair is also her clothes. So when she uses her hair to do a super attack, it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah. And the other thing too is that she was designed by a woman, but they always seem to leave that part out when they start talking about it being a sexist,
super sexualized character Bayonetta. I'm like, a woman designed that. They're like, that's irrelevant. She's a misogynist too. I guess.
Somebody mentioned Stone Cold Steve Austin. That is such a sad story. His knees are fucked.
Yeah,
that guy. And that's there's a great documentary called Beyond the Mat that unfortunately shows a really hard look at the world of professional wrestling and looks at a lot of the old timers and what the industry has either done for or to them. It's a hard documentary to watch, especially the Jake the Snake Roberts part of it. But it's a really good documentary if you can find it.
And Stone Cold Steve Austin was a great character, but I also think that's about the time wrestling died for me, because he came in as just this badass. So and everybody wanted to be the badass, and we lost all the characters at that point.
Yeah.
And that's not a horrible thing. It changed. People still love it, and good for them. It's just not for me anymore. I want it basically to be the old Batman show,
right?
But they're wrestling. I remember in the WCW/AWA, because they worked together all the time. There was this one tag team. I cannot for the life of me remember their name. They were always brought in just to lose. They looked like
they're like the generals in the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah. Anytime they needed to have a match and somebody to beat up, they'd bring these guys in when it wasn't like a major match. Right. And they got the shit kicked out of them all the time. It was great. I actually got to see those guys live once at the Scope in Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
The Road Warriors was there. It was great. But I was a huge Dusty Rhodes fan, and for some reason he wasn't wrestling that night, so I was a little bit sad.
I've never seen them live. I've only ever seen them on television, that kind of thing. I don't know if I can enjoy it live as much as with the camera work and everything on television.
It's still fun because it's one of those things where you're part of the mob.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's still fun in that way. I don't know if it's something you could do every time.
Oh yeah, Sergeant Slaughter, says John Pierre. He who crossed the lines between WWF and GI fucking Joe. I loved it. That was great.
I started watching wrestling when Iron Sheik. Remember Iron Sheik?
Oh God, have you seen videos of the Iron Sheik today, like doing interviews and things? God, it's so hilarious. Yeah, Iron Sheik and what was the Russian guy's name?
Oh, well, I don't know in the WWF, but they had Nikolai. Fuck.
Yeah, Nikolai something. God, I should know these names. They're old, but the Russian guy. Yeah.
Tuned in to hear us talk about dog fucking and wrestling.
Oh, Nikolai Volkov, says Stunlock Joe. Now, see, here's the thing. Now, back then, you had a wrestling team that was made up of effectively America's enemy, the communists, right? They were the villains. I don't know wrestling today, but somebody tell me, have they made a wrestling enemy bad guy team made out of like Middle Eastern terrorists?
That would be awesome. Their finishing move is the bomb. In WWF or in AWA, I remember it was Nikita Koloff, and he was a bad guy, but he was a great bad guy because he didn't have alliances.
Right.
He wasn't, because in all wrestling you had good guys and bad guys, and he didn't. He would fight anybody, and he was great.
Jake the Snake. Now he's off the reservation. Actually, Jake the Snake. There was Diamond Dallas Page. You know Diamond Dallas Page?
Oh yeah.
DDP. Yeah. So he does like some crazy yoga body exercise school or whatever. He's helped a lot of people who have like been super overweight. Like he went and helped Boogie 2988 for a little while. Okay. He tracked down Jake the Snake and Razor Ramon and all these guys whose like lives and health had just completely gone down the shitter since their days, and he like took them into his house and like helped them like get better. I don't know how they are now, but the Razor Ramon transformation, you see him when he first shows up, the guy is like, he looks like he's an invalid. He actually was. He couldn't walk and everything. And then, 6 or 7 months working with Diamond Dallas Page, and he's like transformed into a functional human being again. It was amazing.
Michael asked if I saw Matt's video on Kanye. I haven't. No. The only video I watched today was Satsu's, actually.
The one I did yesterday or the one I did today?
The one today.
What did you think?
I liked it. I'd never even put together the 400 years thing. It's just something I've heard. I'm like, fine, 400 years. And then you brought that up and gave the date. I'm like, wait a minute, 1600, 2000. No, that doesn't make sense. The truth is I don't get to watch very many videos. Usually it's only if I'm gaming by myself, I'll put it over on the side and watch stuff.
Oh, Monkey doesn't watch my videos anymore. I see.
Okay. Your videos are too damn long.
Oh, the latest one's less than 10 minutes.
No, that's not true.
10 minutes.
I watch yours, but I usually watch them like a week after their relevance.
Well, most of mine aren't time sensitive because they're not usually about current events or anything.
When I say relevant, I mean, we talked about them on the show.
Okay. I see.
So yeah, I'm usually like a week behind on your stuff.
Yeah. Well, my stuff is apparently, I've heard several times, very bingeable. So whichever.
Yeah, it is. And what I do is usually I'll catch up and then wait a while and watch again. Priestess of Keck says, I watch all of your videos, Scribe. Suck up. Suck up.
Thank you. Oh, gosh. 3-minute warning, guys. 3 minutes left. Anything? Okay, so not immediately after this stream, but shortly after this stream, there will be a 7 Days to Die over on 2 Cents Plus with Monkey and Satsu.
I'm going to type that in the chat just so you guys know how to spell it properly.
Although there has been some debate in chat about voting on you guys doing Dying Light instead or something. So I don't know what you guys are going to end up doing.
Well, what we'll do tonight is play, and Satsu, you can correct me if I'm wrong. We'll play 7 Days, and we'll ask the audience then what they think for tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. And I mean, if they really are just like, no, fucking play Dying Light now, then fuck it. Well,
if the 4 people who show up decide to,
believe it, well, we'll see. We'll see, because usually we get a pretty decent. They're pretty quick to show up in there because they know it's coming. So most people are already popping up. You should get an Xbox controller for your PC.
And don't forget, tomorrow night is nipple night. So if you want to hear me scream in pain, tomorrow night's your night to do it.
And also, I have a special time-sensitive ad to read tomorrow night. So, if
I have a note to make sure.
Good. Yeah, I do. I do too, because there has been a time in the past, and I'm still very embarrassed by it, where somebody asked me for a time-sensitive thing to do on stream, and I completely lost it. I didn't remember it, and then by the time I got reminded, I was like, "Oh shit, that was 3 days ago." I'm sorry. So I'm not going to do that again. So Monkey's got it. Chat, about it. Just bring it up, and if I don't do it myself at the top of tomorrow night's show, it'll get done one way or the other.
Subcon Jazz says, Monkey, will you scream like a Mexican mariachi man for tomorrow's nipple stream in celebration of Cinco de Mayo? Probably not. Here's the thing, because people have asked me to scream in different ways before, and it's not something I can control because she's mean, guys. She's fucking mean.
You have to go, ay caramba.
Ay caramba.
Well, guys, by the time I finish this sentence, we'll probably go to the top of the hour. So, chat, thank you, as always, for joining us tonight and hanging out and giving us questions and stories and jokes and everything else. It's a better chat and audience a YouTuber could not ask for. Everyone who donated, thank you so much for your generosity. I really appreciate that. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though Chad is usually relatively well behaved. Tomorrow night, as always, we'll be on Monkey's channel, as he just said, for more nipple torture. So if you have $20 you just want to spend on harming an individual, save it for tomorrow night on Monkey Stream.
If you want to beat up a cripple, tomorrow night's your chance.
There you go. That's an even better way to put it. And yeah, in a few minutes, you can go watch Weak Sauce. The Ranting Monkey and Satsu show on 7 Days to Die. And with that, guys, Monkey, Satsu, as always, thank you for joining me. Guys, your lives make us sad, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Have a good night.